late tonight, but I missed actually a video for you yesterday, so I thought I really need to do one today. And we're going to be talking about healthier breakfast options. So, how to transition to healthier eating, breakfast ideas. So, yeah, um, as we discussed in previous parts, if you just tuned in, I would definitely recommend you watch all of the videos previous to this one in the series, how to transition to healthier eating. Um, but what we discussed is circadian rhythms and the best time frame to actually eat food, okay? And that is between 12 o'clock midday and 8 o'clock in the evening. So that's kind of ideal eating window, if you like. Um, so really, that does not include breakfast, if you think about it. However, if you are super hungry, like I mentioned, then yes, you can definitely have something for breakfast, um, but make it light if possible. So what me and my husband normally do, we have a smoothie, so fruit and greens and seed smoothie. Or even better, you could just eat a piece of fruit or two. Okay, so if you can't wait until midday, your lunchtime, pretty much, then you could always have something lighter. Um, some other breakfast ideas would be actually vegetable juices. So I've been lately doing some green juices. So I would put 3 sticks of celery, half a cucumber, and 1 apple, for example, and some kale greens. So would put that together, whiz it in my, because we actually don't have a juicer. We had one, a good one actually, but we kind of just thought, well, smoothies are a healthier way to get the whole food, without wasting any pulp. I mean, we were never wasting. I would always make something with the pulp, but still, it seems like you need a lot of produce and a lot kind of goes into pulp, to extract the juice. So we kind of just sold the good juicer and just stuck to the fruit smoothies, which has got all the fiber still intact, which is good. We do need fiber. However, um, if you need a nutritional boost very quickly with lots of good nutrition and not too much roughage, so you can get a quick boost of energy, of nutrients, especially when you ill, for example, when you kind of don't want to expend energy on heavy digestion, because digestion is a very energy taxing activity, if you like. So yeah, anything you can help your body to get the nutrients without having to work hard for it, it could help in certain situations when you want to recover quicker, either after a workout, for example, or if you unwell, like under the weather, have flu or cold and things like that, um, or if you have an injury, for example, so you want your body to kind of concentrate on repairing your tissues and healing your injury rather on digestion. So having green juices could be a good way to boost your nutrition and give yourself nutrients without having to go through the labor intensive and energy intensive digestion. So yeah, so that's what I've been doing. Last few mornings, I would quickly make myself one of those juices and have it around 10:30, 11, when I was starting to get really hungry. So that's another good option to have. And then, if that doesn't really, satisfy you and it's not filling enough and you can't wait until 12 o'clock, Another good option is your porridge, so your oats or muesli. So you could do overnight oats, for example. So you can, put your muesli with some maybe nuts and seeds, not too many nuts, a few seeds, a few chopped nuts if you want, some dried fruit perhaps, and some oats. So that's your kind of basic muesli. So you could have that in a jar, pour either plant milk, well, normally it would be plant milk, otherwise water is, not as flavoursome. So, some plant milk, maybe a little bit of maple syrup if you use that, or some unrefined cane sugar like panela, and then just leave it in the fridge in a jar overnight. And then you can have overnight oats or a porridge as normal, whatever you like to add, whether you would like to add a bit of cinnamon, maybe a few slices of banana or apple and things like that. However, I do advise actually to eat fruit before having, say, porridge. I mean, some berries are okay-ish. If it's kind of like the dried fruits seem to be okay. But raw fruits, it's kind of better to actually have fruit separate and give it half an hour for it to digest and then have the porridge. I would advise doing that way rather than adding fruit to your porridge per se. Maybe to porridge I would encourage just adding, maybe some nuts, some chopped nuts, some seeds, maybe dried fruit if you wanted to, some spices like cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger, things like this, and maybe a little bit of unrefined sugar if you want it sweeter, and keep the fruit just separate, because fruit digests the quickest. So I would suggest starting your morning with fruit to begin with, and then if you can't wait still for lunchtime, then you can have like porridge or say overnight oats, things like that, and then have your lunch maybe 1, 2 or 3 o'clock. So that's some ideas for healthy breakfasts. You have your usual kind of pancakes, fried breakfast, and you can do it obviously plant-based and vegan. However, I wouldn't say that they are necessarily healthy breakfast options. Cereals, again, cereal wise, if you kind of want to stick to very simple, like I said, muesli is a good option because it's just simple oats with a few seeds, nuts, and dried fruit, for example. But other cereals like cornflakes, for example, sometimes we do get some organic cornflakes which are non-sweetened. It's just basically corn, organic corn, and it's just made into flakes. Sometimes we do get that. Mark sometimes enjoys having that as a dessert or whatever in the evenings, for example. But like there's not very many healthy cereal options, and especially you can't really find many organic cereal options. And I'll explain more about why it's important to have wheat specifically, or any kind of grain really, organic if you're gonna eat it, in future videos from these series. But there's not very many healthy cereals, I must say, apart from kind of muesli and stuff. So I would stick to those healthier options for breakfast if you do need to eat breakfast. But if you're okay to wait until 12 o'clock or thereabouts, then do that. Apologies, so my connection has dropped out, so I'm back. So what I was saying, next time we're gonna talk raw until dinner. So we gonna talk how you could continue the healthier eating until dinner and only have cooked foods later on through the day. But today, obviously, the topic was healthier breakfast, so I've listed a few that are your healthier options. Stewed apple or baked apple could be one of those as well if you kind of don't fancy regular just raw apple. Then you can always have, like, say, a baked apple or stewed apple for breakfast as well. That's really yummy with a bit of cinnamon perhaps. So yeah, so maybe cooked apple is okay to add to your porridge, for example, but raw I would recommend having it separate from your porridge. So yeah, so if you have any questions, please put them down below. Happy to answer them. So yeah, so that's kind of my suggestions and some ideas of healthy breakfast. Or, like I said, if you can, wait until 12 o'clock to eat, then you're kind of effectively skipping breakfast and doing intermittent fasting, which is really good for our bodies. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this quick one, and see you next time when I'm going to be talking about raw until dinner. So have a good evening, everybody, and see you in a couple of days' time.